So, I want to just lay some things out. In the last video I was talking about you can get courage from whatever. No, the truth is what happened to me is over the course of the years of continuously being poisoned with heavy metals. Remember, this happened when I was lived in Florida all the way up into elementary school. When Stu finally poisoned me with the heavy metals, he flattened my fear response and made me courageous. Which is absolutely hilarious, because this is once again, everything these people do just blew up in their faces. It is also why I became emotionally disassociative and didn't fucking care about anybody. Yeah. It's kind of a bummer that there isn't just some magical thing you can take to destroy your amygdala and become free of fear. But I do want to talk about why I'm constantly terrified, and why I'm potentially the most bravest person on the planet. And you might go, Bobby, you've been being a coward this entire time. Yeah. We're going to discuss that. People with ADHD have overlapping neural circuits in PTSD trauma compounds, thus altering the brain's regions like the basal ganglia, the prefrontal cortex, and amygdala, because these regulate threat assessment, movements, and emotional control. Trauma can leave individuals trapped in a chronic state of fear and anxiety. A damaged basal ganglia. The basal ganglia is already maldeformed in the ADHD brain. When it becomes damaged, it becomes impossible to escape constant fear or terror. Hence the gray hair. My brain, as I said, I'm tired of being terrified all the time. Is in a permanent state of fear because it cannot recover from it, because I don't have fear extinction. Remember, I talked about this with the CBD oil. It causes fear extinction. Every time I go outside or do anything alone or any of that other shit, I'm absolutely fucking terrified. I just move through it. So I'm actually an exceptionally courageous person, believe it or not. The issue is when I experience new fear, the state I'm already in, the heightened, hyper-arousal fear state quadruples, because my brain is already in the fear state to begin with. This is why it's almost impossible for me to stop only thinking about myself, because that's what fear does. It makes you incredibly selfish. Think about every retarded member of this church. They're all retards, and they do the wrong thing in every situation and then fuck everything up. And we're going to talk about doing the wrong thing in every situation in a minute. How these systems interact. The basal ganglia, this is the deep brain structure, controls motor response, action selection, and trauma. Physical, emotional freeze, or flee responses are processed, which can result in psychomotor agitation, restlessness, or chronic physical tension. Chronic physical tension is an important thing, because yesterday, every hour on the hour, I did a cold plunge. In a goal to alleviate the fear in my brain, because cold plunges causes the vagus nerve to reset. And each time I did them, I had less and less physical tension. The explosive kicking and the spasming is the fear response during the cold plunges. The fear circuit in the amygdala and prefrontal cortex. The amygdala dictates the initial fear and threat response, while the prefrontal cortex normally steps in to calm it down. And in ADHD, this top-down regulation is often weaker, making it highly difficult to unlearn fear and stop intense reactions. When I talk about my seize up, it's not a normal seize up. It's that stupid shit where the guys were like, just punch him and then you'll feel euphoria. I will never feel euphoria. The same way after I fired that flare gun, I felt nothing but depression, because my brain doesn't have the ability due to what you people did. Oh no, agency! We did something! Yes, you did something. He's blaming us. He is. Everything is blame because I'm traumatized. I was raped in the ass, and I'm gonna think about this in the wrong way instead of admitting I fucked everything up like a retard. Is it weird? I know how you guys. I literally know how you guys think. Is it starting to get on your nerves? Hopefully, it doesn't make you feel small. I'd hate for that to happen. ADHD itself is characterized by a deficit in processing fear extinction. The ability to realize the past threat is no longer present. When combined with the heightened sensitive cause of trauma, the brain easily mistakes safe environments for dangerous ones. Also, mixed with a damaged basal ganglia, it becomes impossible to recover from fear. Managing the intertwined challenges usually require a multi-pronged approach that target both mind and body. Somatic and trauma-informed therapies approach EMDR, desensitization, yada yada, somatic experiences, nervous system, physical, fight, flight, ADHD management, stupid shit. Just stupid shit. But let's just roll into this. So, my brain, for the rest of my life, because of what these people did, will be permanently trapped in a terrified state. And the only way to cure it is to take a cold plunge almost every hour to get mild relief, potentially for the rest of my life. But I wanted to now talking about going to jail or prison or whatever it is after you commit a crime, because this is anal eating. I didn't realize. I thought after you committed a crime, you went straight to trial. I thought it was like a 2-day or 3-day thing, because it's like 24 hours you have to appear before a judge. So I assume that you just got a trial. Apparently, that's not how things work. Because once again, I'm not a court person. I don't know how these fucking things work. Okay. Apparently, you gotta wait in prison or in jail for like 7 days, which would be great and all outside of the fact that I am completely codependent on supplements to keep me regulated. I want you guys to think about at the beginning of these videos how mentally unhinged I was, and then imagine me sitting in jail for 7 days with no choline, with no ashwagandha, with no GABA, with none of the other supplements I take, just to function, and then go to court. Does that sound familiar to anybody? Because in that state, I end up in and also remember the malabsorption and the fact that my spine twists. So over that 7-day period, I will be in crippling pain. I won't have fluid going to my brain because my back and neck is out. And I won't have any of those supplements to help me get through the legal case. And I'm going to have to represent myself because of what you fucking assholes did. Does this sound like a recipe for disaster? Because it sounds like a recipe for disaster. But I wanted to add on to this because there's a wonderful part. I will be in the exact same state I was in Ackworth when I put all my friends in prison. But I'm not in control of any of this. I don't have any agency in this. So if you end up in prison because I go to court and I say something stupid, you can blame the filthy, disgusting church that has me under contract and was like, this is a good idea. We're going to do the exact same thing that happened last time. I refuse to learn from it because my ego is so massive and I'm so stupid that we're just going to do the stupid thing in every situation, no matter what. Because I have overwhelming force and I hate thinking. I cannot stand thinking, and this is what happens when you refuse to think. You end up with stupid results like this one. And I'm pretty tired of being terrified all the time. I would argue that part of the reason I can't write, but I remember this retard shit where Anal Eating Mummy God was like, this guy suffers from rigid thinking, he won't change the way he thinks, he has to think like us, and I was just, you know what I should have said to Anal Eating Mummy God when he was like, you need to think like us? Maybe it's you that has the rigid thinking to begin with. It's not the other guy. You're just projecting. You just go, I think like this, so everybody should think like this. Look at me, I'm so successful, the church has handed me everything my entire life, and I think I earned it because I'm fucking delusional. I'm pretty tired of being terrified. worthy of note, I had this weird fucking dream. The blue-eyed guy came down here and told me I was gonna marry my cuddle buddy, who's like, if I'm correct, a giant hideous monster. And as soon as he left, I knifed her to death. And it was funny because these stupid people who've been trying to exert control over me this entire time and failing. And I want to talk about the failures of exerting control. The reason they poison you with heavy metals is to make you stupid and easy to control. Stu poisoned me with heavy metals and he turned me into something he couldn't stop. These guys threatened me and I fucking ignored them. Alright? Every fucking time, and they have to prove to themselves, I can control it, I can! You seem to be failing. And according to my dream, you're about to fail so hard, you're actually going to get somebody else fucking killed this time. Are you guys ready to accept that responsibility? Because once again, I hold every member in your church responsible for the actions of the members, because if your church didn't exist, these things wouldn't happen to begin with. So every time something goes bad, I hold all of you accountable for the actions that happen. And I think every one of you dumb assholes needs to sit down and go, we did this, this is our fault. This is not a blame game, but an act of being an adult and accepting responsibility for your actions. You murdered my friends. I do not like you. If I murder your friends, you're not gonna like me. Continuously trying to force somebody to do something they don't want to do is a bad idea. And I know the church leaders get off on it. Oh, control! Oh! Great. It's that retard shit. When I was at Papa John's and they sent that guy in and he was like, they murdered my wife and friends and I joined them. I was like, you joined them to kill the church leader, right? No. Dude, you're a piece of shit. Go away. He's, I'm not a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit. Go away. You have no morals or values of any type. You're a bitch, dude. You're a fucking bitch. Nothing more. Like, I just picture that guy, like, fucking sitting quietly in a dark apartment that's spray painted black, fucking loading a gun and waiting to go after the church leader, and everybody in the church is gonna be like, no! Oh, that bullshit he had didn't fucking save him from a goddamn bullet. Which I believe is what Anal Eating Mummy God was trying to get across, but I want to talk about that too. I mean, I do look forward to going to court, by the way. Completely mentally unhinged and totally fucking insane because my brain is deprived of nutrition from actions you guys took, and then when it all goes bad, you guys are going to be like, this is stupid, and I will go, and you watch this video and go, yeah, he agrees with us, this was stupid. We're really stupid people. This is what stupidity looks like. This is what happens when you drink Tetraled despite the critical thinking part of your brain. I hate intelligence! I can't stand it! I'm a Christian! I just want to be stupid and then hope society compensates me for my idiocy! I want to be the dumbest son of a bitch in the room and also in control! Oh no! Victim! Please. But I think Anal Eating Mummy God and that shit when I hired Luigi Mangione to shoot these people when I was president of these people. I think that legitimately terrified Anal Eating Mummy God because it's accountability. That's what Luigi Mangione is. And when I told Andy and the other guys, go talk to the people whose kids you killed. Go tell them what you did. Immediate fear of responsibility. Oh no, agency. In my life, I hate that. Yeah. But that's the point of being a part of a church to begin with. You just have the excuse that you're the victim and everything. Whatever, man. Those are just my thoughts for now. I'm glad I fully understand because I thought my brain was broken. It is broken. And that's why I can't get out of the fear response. And that's why when I do have a fear response, it's like 4 million times worse than possibly any other fucking fear response on the planet. And everybody's just moved through it, please. Once again, if you did this to them, there would be a fucking problem. If one of you did this to the church leader and he's like, I'm just gonna reinterpret the extreme fear response as adrenaline. Oh boy. And then just, I can't move. Oh no. Oh, why? It's not working. And just, great. This is that weird, I don't know, telepathic flashback I had at fucking Papa John's when Danielle was like, keep moving, and I had that flashback of that Nicolas Cage movie where he shoots that guy in the head and he starts telling him, come on, shoot me in the head, and the guy just keeps sitting there and then he dies. Like, fucking, it's the same shit. Trust me, if you evaporated these people's basal ganglia and then they had to do something extreme and their body just started seizing up, it would be the end of it. They'd be, I'm not in control of any... No, you're not in control of anything. I've completely fucking eroded your ability to control anything. You're welcome. But I also had this other flashback to Anal Eating Mummy God, and they're controlling you through your anger. I was stupid on heavy metals, that's why it was so easy. But also, it's easy to control me through my anger. I don't have a basal ganglia to fucking regulate the response, which is why it just comes out explosively and out of control. Because, yeah, that's what happens when you destroy somebody's basal ganglia. This is a common sense thing. Okay. And I assume there's some retard shit in this church, because obviously they drink tetraled, they do all this stupid shit. And the whole reason, you know, you're trying to get a girl and a loser from this church is competing with you, so they poison you with heavy metals, you become emotionally dysregulated, you become a disgusting, scared, insecure person because your brain is under constant attack by heavy metals. These retards are used to living in that brain, they're used to being fucking terrified all the time, they're used to being hyper vigilant and neurotic and weird, and they've learned how to cover it up by developing a facade. Whoop-de-fucking-do. And then you humiliate yourself, and then they're like, I got the girl, I win the competition, and then flatline. The competition's done, and suddenly there's nothing to compete with, because the primal brain is a competition brain. And once it gets its trophy, that's the end of it. That's the dopamine dump. They don't want the trophy anymore, so they leave the bitch and they move on. But they don't want that guy to get that girl, but also they want to move on, but they don't want that. They want to do both things. They want to have control. I gotta have control. My brain's fucked up. It doesn't work correctly. Which is why you should never do this to your brain to begin with. Which is why you should never do this to your brain to begin with. It's not superior, it's stupid and codependent on LSD and ketamine. Thank you.